It's nice to meet you, Steve/Steven.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Okay, so since we're a therapist and a client getting to know one another, and you are part of what you are coming to treatment for, has to do with some feelings of sadness or depression. So I would like to give you what's called the Beck Depression Inventory. It's just sort of a general questionnaire, and then we can score it numerically, and it gives us some idea of where you range sort of on the depression scale, if that makes sense. So these are all going to be, the answers are all going to be numbers, and I'll just read you the question and then the answers, and you tell me which number you think most fits you, okay? You there? Can you hear me? You're muted. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
No problem.
I'm ready.
Okay. So let's see. For sadness, would you say that you do not feel sad? You feel sad much of the time? You're sad all the time? Or you're so sad or unhappy that you can't stand it?
I'm very limited on sadness.
So would you say you don't feel sad, or you feel sad much? I don't feel sad, or I feel sad much of the time, I think would probably the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah, the lower end of the spectrum.
So would you say it's you do not feel sad, or you feel
No.
sad much of the time? Those are the two options.
No, I don't feel sad, or I feel sad much of the time, or not much of the time.
Much of the time.
No, then no.
So I do not feel sad?
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's give me a second. I have to mark your answers down when I'm doing this. Okay. What about pessimism? Would you say that you're not discouraged about your future?
Correct.
Okay, well, do you want me to read the other ones?
No, I'm not discouraged. I'm always positive.
Okay. All right. Oh shoot, darn it. All right. What about past failures? Would you say you don't feel like a failure? You have failed more than you should have? As you look back, you see a lot of failures, or you feel like you are a total failure as a person?
Wow, that's a tough one. What was the second one?
I have failed more than I should have.
Yes, correct.
So you want to go with that answer?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And the next one the next question talks to loss of pleasure. So would you say that you get as much pleasure as you ever did from the things that you enjoy? You don't enjoy things as much as you used to. You get very little pleasure from things that you used to enjoy, or you can't get any pleasure from the things you used to enjoy.
I would have to go with the second one.
You don't enjoy things as much as you used to?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to talk about guilty feelings. So would you say you do not feel particularly guilty? You feel guilty over many things that you should have done, or you have done or should have done. You feel quite guilty most of the time, or you feel guilty all of the time?
The second one.
Okay. Next is punishment feelings having to do with punishment, I guess. So would you say you don't feel that you are being punished? You feel like you may be punished, you expect to be punished, or you feel that you are being punished?
Wow. That's all of the above is the problem.
What would you say most closely fits you?
Read them to me again.
I don't feel I am being punished. I feel I may be punished. I expect to be punished, or I feel I am being punished.
The last one.
Okay. And then let's see, the next one has to do with self-dislike. So would you say that you feel the same way about yourself as you ever have? You have lost confidence in yourself, you are disappointed in yourself, or you dislike yourself?
The first one.
Okay. Now we're going to go to self-criticalness, which I didn't even think was a word, but apparently it is. So would you say I don't criticize or blame myself more than usual?
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so the first answer is I don't criticize or blame myself more than usual, or I am more critical of myself than I used to be, or I criticize myself for all of my faults, or I blame myself for everything bad that happens.
Read me the first two again. Sorry.
The first one is I don't criticize or blame myself more than usual, or I am more critical of myself than I used to be.
I am more critical than I used to be.
Okay. All right, next is suicidal thoughts or wishes. So would you say I don't have any thoughts of killing myself?
Zero.
I don't have any thoughts of killing myself?
Correct.
Okay. Next is crying. So would you say that I don't cry any more than I used to? I cry more than I used to. I cry over every little thing, or I feel like crying, but I can't.
So the first one is what again?
First is I don't cry any more than I used to. And then the second one is I do cry more than I used to.
No, the first one.
Okay. All right. And then next is agitation. So would you say that you are no more restless or wound up than usual, or you are more restless or wound up than usual, or you are so restless or agitated it's hard to stay still, or you are so restless or agitated that you have to keep moving or doing something?
Oh. So I would have to go with the first one.
Okay. No more restless or wound up than usual.
And what's the second one?
You are more restless or wound up than usual.
No,
Okay.
first one.
Next is loss of interest. Let's see here. So would you say I have not lost interest in other people or activities, or I am less interested in other people or things than before, sorry, or I have lost most of my interest in other people or things? And the last one is it's hard to get interested in anything.
First one.
Okay. Next is indecisiveness. So would you say I make decisions about as well as ever? I find it more difficult to make decisions than usual. I have much greater difficulty in making decisions than I used to, or I have trouble making any decisions.
No, I would say the first one.
Okay. Next is worthlessness. So would you say I do not feel that I am worthless? I don't consider myself as worthwhile and useful as I used to. I feel more worthless as compared to others, or I feel utterly worthless.
One.
Okay. Next is loss of energy. So would you say I have as much energy as ever? I don't have less energy than I used to have, or I'm sorry, second one is I have less energy than I used to have. Third is I don't have energy to do very much. And the fourth is I don't have energy to do anything.
Number two.
Okay. All right, next is changes in your sleep pattern. So would you say that I have not experienced any change in my sleeping? I have somewhat more than usual. I'm sorry, I slept more than usual. I sleep somewhat less than usual. I sleep a, a lot. Let's see. I sleep most of the day, or I wake up 1 to 2 hours early and can't get back to sleep.
And the first one is what?
The first is I have not experienced any change in my sleeping.
And number two?
Slept more than usual. And then the next one is slept less than usual.
And this is for right now.
Yeah, it's for whatever you want. I mean, I'm writing up a little response to this, to the responses that I get, and like, just about the intake, because it's an assignment I have to do for a psychological testing.
Let's do number three.
Number three, I sleep somewhat less than usual.
Yep.
Okay. Next is irritability. So would you say I am not more irritable than usual? I am more irritable than usual? I am much more irritable than usual, or I am irritable all the time?
I'd go with two.
Okay. Let's see. Next is changes in appetite. So would you say I have not experienced any change in my appetite? My appetite is somewhat less than usual, somewhat greater than usual,
Less than usual.
less than usual. All right. Okay. Constant, there's only three more, so thank you for sticking in.
My pleasure, darling.
Next one is concentration difficulty. So would you say I can concentrate as well as ever? I cannot concentrate as well as ever. It's hard to keep my mind on anything for very long, or I find I can't concentrate on anything.
Number two.
Okay. Next is tiredness or fatigue. So would you say I am no more tired or fatigued than usual? I get more tired or fatigued more easily than usual. I am too tired or fatigued to do a lot of the things I used to do, or I am too tired or fatigued to do most of the things I used to do.
Number two.
Okay. And the last one is loss of interest in sex. So would you say I have not noticed any recent change in my interest in sex? I am less interested in sex than I used to be. I am much less interested in sex now, or I have lost interest in sex completely.
Number one.
Okay. Okay. All righty, and that is it in terms of the question asking. I have to go back and each answer has like a numeric value associated with it. So I'm looking at your ear right now, by the way. Is that because you can't hear me?
You're right, correct.
So basically I just have to go back and score it, and then it'll